Mm, Yes.
Yeah. So we are going starting, dear Monish.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Good morning to each and everyone present on the 16th day of induction and the valedictory program of HSNC University for first year uh, courses, where the first of its kind, where we have introduced an induction lecture series for 16 long days and have invited speakers across industries to interact with our first year students on Zoom and YouTube platform. Today, the last day, a valedictory day, and we are fortunate, privileged, and lucky to have our own mentor, our own trustee, former president of HSNC board, the parent body of HSNC University, Shri Anil Harish ji. I extend warm welcome to Shri Anil Harish ji, an institution in itself. We say if you have any legal opinion to be taken, or if you are stuck somewhere in legal problems, Sir is always there to guide us. Sir is always there to mentor us. And Sir has been with us or with our institution as a mentor, as a parent, as a friend, philosopher, guide on behalf of HR College, on behalf of KC College, on behalf of Bombay Teachers Training College. I extend my warm welcome to Shri Anil Harish ji, our former president of HSNC University. And I hand over to Mehak Gwalani Madam, Vice Principal of Junior College of KC College, to formally introduce Shri Anil Harishi. A warm welcome to you, sir, on behalf of HSNC University and all the three colleges, sir. Thank you, sir. Over to you, Mehak ji.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Pooja Ramchandani. It has truly been a spectacular start to the new university launched by the HSNC board. And I congratulate the principals of the three colleges and the organizers who have brought such a vast spectrum of mentors for our students to hear and learn from. And in the coming days, this induction program will go a long way to instill confidence in these youngsters that they are at the right place and right time. And to finish with a flourish, we have, for the valedictory induction session, a speaker who has been identified as one of the foremost legal and tax experts in areas such as FEMA, property matters, income tax, Mr. Anil Harish, trustee and immediate past president of the HSNC board, has not only been one of the strongest pillars of the board, but also as an advocate, he has an assertive presence in the legal world. He is a partner of DM Harish and Company, a well-known firm of advocates. He has over 38 years of experience, which only indicates the depth and breadth of his knowledge. The prestigious posts Mr. Harish holds to date as director of several companies, the publications he has to his credit, the international forums he has been invited to speak from, hints at an individual with a vast expertise, wisdom, and a significant cutting edge in legal matters. And yet, to crystallize the persona of Mr. Anil Harish, I take the liberty of quoting him from one of his speeches. A true lawyer, he says, works like a horse and lives like a hermit. His ability to go above and beyond proves the former, and his simple, unassuming nature proves the latter. Before I request Sir to take over, I would strongly advise students to focus on this master orator, on his insights, the snippets, the quotes, the anecdotes, which will remain with you long after his speech is done. Sir, I request you to kindly take over and deliver the speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Mehak Kwalani, for your kind words. Principal Dr. Himlata Bagla, Principal Dr. Pooja Ramchandani, Principal Dr. Bhagwan Balani, professors, friends, and dear students. You have gone through a number of induction sessions and have heard the brightest stars in the firmament, Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, Mr. Baman Irani, Mr. Dilip Vengsarkar, and so many others on a range of subjects. And I'm sure that you've learned a great deal from them. I'm also sure that you're all now eager to begin classes and college life. Some of you have been in junior college in HR and KC and other colleges, and some have been in schools. The big change would normally have been for the latter, but this year there is a change for all. The pandemic and lockdown have been something that the world has never seen before in this to this extent. Everyone has been affected differently. Businesses have closed down, many employees have lost jobs, sportsmen and others have lost opportunities which they may have had, which they may never get again. For example, that the Olympics were cancelled this year. Students may have wanted to go abroad for further studies. And on the other hand, some have benefited. They have spent more time with their families or have taken a fresh look at their lives and their way of living and working. Some friends of mine, for instance, had gone to Alibag for the weekend on the 21st, 22nd of March, and then they were not able to come back because the inter-district movement was suddenly stopped. So they've spent the last 6 months in Alibag, and they say it's the best time of their lives. They have internet connectivity, which is very important. But other than that, they say it's been wonderful over there. They're able to look at things differently. They can work and yet get fresh air and exercise, which they did not do before. So we all know that we have to face it. We have to face the situation as it is now. Someone said that we are all in the same boat. But Greta Thunberg, the remarkable young lady, said, no, we are all in the same storm, but we are in different boats. And that is so true. Everyone's situation is different, and so is the manner in which everyone acts and in which everyone reacts. But to a substantial extent, this is up to us. The circumstances, of course, are an important part of what we do and the people around us. But there is so much that lies within us. There is a lovely poem by Ella Wheeler Cox, one verse of which is, one ship sails east, the other west, by the self-same gales that blow. 'Tis the set of the sails and not the gales that shows you the way to go. And another one, which I had studied in my first year of college, many years ago. That was called Invictus by William Ernest Henley. It says, William Ernest Henley also had some disabilities, and so life must have been very difficult for him. But he said, it matters not how straight the gate. Straight is spelled S-T-R-A-I-T, not S-T-R-A-G-H-T. It's S-T-R-A-I-T, which means narrow. So it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. So you have to set your sails. We all have to set our own sails, and we have to be captain of our souls. All of you are brilliant students. You've done very well in your studies and in your exams, which is why you're in such amazing colleges, the best in Mumbai. Your principals and your teachers are so good, so sincere and dedicated, and so accessible. It is such a change from what it used to be in the old days. There were much fewer activities when I was in college. One went to class and then there was some little sport and some other activities, but nothing like it is now. Today, there's such a buzz in the colleges when you will soon be able to come, maybe not on Monday, but soon after that, and you will see how life is. There is so much excitement, so much activity all around. In fact, during the lockdown, we have all had incredible experiences. The principals and teachers of all the colleges of the HSNC board have engaged in intense learning and sharing experiences about their colleges and the different aspects of their functioning. They are always trying to do better and better, more and more, for whom? It is for you, the students, so that the colleges can become better, to be able to provide you greater opportunities and greater scope of learning. Now, you and your teachers have to get together and evolve and grow in every way possible. Mr. M.F. Hussain, the great painter, was a friend and client of ours. He would come to our office barefoot, carrying his paint brushes and pens and felt pens. And on a couple of occasions, he took the white pad on which I made notes, and then he began to draw on it. And I was always fascinated. With just a few strokes, he was able to transform the paper from a simple blank sheet into something that can remain forever. It is the amalgam of the two. It is not just the paper, and it is not just the ink that is used, but it is the combination of these which is the greatness. He made these things of beauty and a joy forever. They remain, the sketches that he did remain with me as tangible proof of the greatness of this man and the joy that he could give by his paintings and by his sketches. And that is what I want for each of you, to be the best you can be and to be joyful and to give joy. So the teachers and the college on the one hand and the students on the other hand must get together and create something really wonderful. You have all made important choices of colleges and of courses. But now for the next 3 years, you have to benefit from these experiences that you can get. Your next major career choices will be about 3 years from now, when you decide whether you want to pursue another course or a master's or go abroad or go into business or profession. But for now, take advantage of the time that you have. I am confident that each one of you will do very well in academics. And as and when you can, will participate in all the dance and drama and sports and charitable and social activities of the college and make wonderful friends. In fact, these friendships will remain forever. Even now, I am in a group of my school friends and of my college friends. So it's so wonderful to be able to catch up with them and to share memories. And this is what I'm sure that you all are already doing with the persons, with your recent friends, with your new friends, and these bonds will strengthen over time. In every part of life, in every stage of life, there will be difficult times. You may miss being selected for a particular team or activity, or not do well in something, or have a problem of some kind. You will have to face it, but please learn from it. It is said that one should not only go through experience, you must grow through experience. And an old English proverb is, a smooth sea never made a skillful mariner. In fact, a few years ago, I was appointing someone for my office, and I asked him, have you had any litigation yourself? Not on behalf of your employer, but have you had any litigation yourself? And he said, yes, I have. So that was one of the reasons why I appointed him. If he had not gone through those difficulties himself, I might not have appointed him, because I wanted someone who has had these difficulties and has faced them and has been able to surmount them. So these are some, in addition to this, in addition to experiencing everything that you possibly can, there are some things that you must do that must be an important part of you throughout your life. I find these extremely useful and critical: to read, to write, and to speak, in addition to all your college work. When I was in law college, one of the greatest judges in England, Lord Denning, had come to Bombay, and he had given his speech at the Convocation Hall. I attended that speech, and he said at that time, he said, every day, each person must spend at least half an hour or an hour reading. Read anything. You may read fiction, you may read the classics, you may read poetry, you may read comedy, read anything, but you keep reading because you have to open your mind to everything. And W.B. Yeats, the famous poet, said, a person who won't read has no advantage over one who can't read. So if you are not going to read, then it's as if you just are not even really literate. You have to keep learning all these things. So do spend some time reading any books, as I said, any literature, fiction, anything. Many years ago, I knew an Englishman, an old Englishman who since has passed away, He used to live in Bombay, and he told me, if I were to be stranded on a desert island, well, I hope none of us are going to be stranded on a desert island, but he said, if I were to be stranded on a desert island and I had a choice of books to take with myself, I would take two books. One would be a dictionary, and the second would be a Bible. The dictionary would open up so many trains of thought. I would just open it, look at any word, and allow my mind to wander. So he said, I can think of everything, all my experiences, what other people have thought of, maybe what was the origin of that word, what was the reason for that word to come into existence. It's the dictionary and everything that it contains, because that is our language, that is our means of communication. That he said that is extremely important. All ideas encapsulated in words, and therefore one must always keep oneself open to them. Refer to a dictionary to learn the words, whether you're hearing Dr. Shashi Tharoor or anyone else, but you have to keep learning the meanings. It's much better to acknowledge once that you don't know the meaning than forever to never know the meaning. So even if once you hear something and you don't understand it, ask about it or read about it, learn from it, and then go on. And you must also write. There are experiences in our life. There are situations going on in our country right now, some of which are undesirable, some things that we think about, things that we see, incidents that happen to individuals, incidents that happen to large groups of people. This is the time when we have to express ourselves in many of these. But you have to express yourself always clearly, with a great deal of thought, and positively. I remember when I was in law college, that was the time of the emergency. The emergency was just declared, and I remember I was in the government law college, but there was a meeting held in the KC Law College of students. So not an official meeting, but a group of students were meeting there. So I went for that meeting at that time, and we all talked and we all felt so strongly about it. But those were not the times that one could write because of the censorship. Today, fortunately, that censorship is not there. So when you feel something strongly, do write about it. Don't be critical about persons. Don't make it personal. Don't be negative. You can be critical of actions, but not of persons. And you have to yourself be positive, look forward, and do the best that you could possibly do. So writing is very important. And so is speaking. Whenever you get a chance, in your college presentations, in your college programs and functions, elocution competitions, debates, do speak, especially in this day and age when there is so many different professions, so many different activities. It is extremely important to communicate, whether on social media or otherwise. So this is something that one has to do. I think that we did not do enough of this, of speaking and reading and writing when we were in college, but we've tried to do more and more as we go along. So this is one thing that I think you must bear in mind, that do take these opportunities to read, write, and speak at all times. And look after your health. This is something so critical. I find that I've been sitting in chairs for so many years, sometimes not bothering to exercise and therefore developing back problems and other things. I don't want you to have all that. You must remember that time passes and that health problems will come up. So keep yourself fit, keep yourself energetic at all times. In fact, during this time of the lockdown, people have improved their health. But you don't wait for another lockdown to come before you do that to yourself. You must look after yourself. In fact, there is an old Egyptian proverb which said that health is like the digit 1. Everything else is like the digit 0. So if you have health and wealth, then you have 1 and 0. That's 10. If you have health and wealth and fame, then you have 100. If you have health and wealth and fame and friendships, then you have 1,000, and so on. You can keep adding to that. But if you don't have health, you don't have the 1, and everything else is just 0 without that. So you have to look after your health and keep a balance in your life. You must be brilliant at your work, but you must do very well financially. You must have a lot of money, because that is also so important in life. But you must have your family, your friends, your health, and all your activities of every kind, charitable, social, and anything else that can give pleasure to you and pleasure to others. Friends, you have heard a lot from all the different mentors, and they have told you about their different experiences. But I think this is not the stage at which you have to decide on whether you go into the law or any other profession. So that we will keep for another day. But I want to tell you something more about the HSNC board and the HSNC University. The HSNC board was started 71 years ago, and now the HSNC University has just started. The principles of our board and of our university have always been those of openness, of having a high quality, but along with that, an openness of mind. There is no distinction between communities and or of any kind of gender or anything else. You can see that the majority of our principals are ladies, and we are so happy and so happy and so proud of them. We're also very proud and happy with the gentlemen who are our principals. They are not less, everyone is equal. We treat them that way, and they are, and they're all wonderful. They all have looked after their colleges and their students in the best way possible. And so our HSNC University believes in these principles of the equality of people and of being able to provide everyone with an opportunity. And it is in these surroundings that you will live, that you will study. So we want you to inculcate those principles also. And in life, treat everyone as an equal. Keep your mind open to everyone. People may sometimes appear to be different from what they are. I remember a person had come to me, and at first, he didn't seem a very attractive or prepossessing kind of person. He walked in, he was chewing pan, and he started talking quite loudly and so on. So, but still, I greeted him, made him sit down, and then he did something very unusual. He took out his wallet and he took out a card from his wallet, which was my father's visiting card, which he had preserved for more than 20 years. I was so surprised at that. That means this was a person who remembered, who had feelings, and he had come back after 20 years and he talked to me about his problems. And he was such a good thinker. He expressed his problem. He thought about the different solutions. And while he was talking in a way in which it might have appeared that it was a crude way, but still his thinking was very good. So you don't just look at one aspect of a person, look at everything and try and imbibe the best of what he has and what he can give you. And don't be judgmental. Well, I think all of you have been well and truly inducted with so many programs. You've learned a lot from all the brilliant speakers who have who have spoken in these many days. I look forward to meeting all of you. I'm sure that you are waiting for your classes to begin on Monday the 12th. But I just want to end with, of course, Mahatma Gandhi, because he said, the greatness of a person lies not in the head, but in the heart. Thank you.
So I think that was amazing mantras. With your presence, this induction program has become more special, but has become much more special because we have with us even Mr. Kishore Matsukhani, President of the board. Thank you so much, sir, for joining the last day valedictory session of the induction program. Thank you so much, sir, for blessing us with your presence. Sir, Mr. Anil Harish, sir, let me tell you, I feel without your presence and direction, it would have definitely remained incomplete. So thank you so much for joining us today. And for us, even for our principals and all the students who are watching this program, your session, I believe there are many takeaways. And I'll just like to list few which have gone right into our heads, and which will touch hearts. Is we all have to set our own sails. I think that was beautiful. And one should not go through experiences, but grow with them. Not only go with the experiences, but also grow with them. We will keep reading, writing, and speaking. I think that's what our students should not miss the opportunities, and they should write in their blogs, whatever they write, I think they will take with your mantras. They'll keep writing good. They will not be negative. That's what Sir said. Don't be negative. Be critical of actions, but not about people and persons. I think that's what we need to learn from the experiences and see to it that how we are taking such wonderful mantras and go ahead. Last couple of things which Sir said is look after your health, be joyful and give joy, be the best that you can be. Thank you so much, sir. I think this is wonderful to come from you. And we will look forward to meeting you more, because this is just the beginning, is induction program. There'll be many more opportunities where we would want students to personally interact with you, because we will be starting very soon with the mentor series. So all the students who are wanting to become our aspiring lawyers and will look up to you. So there'll be groups which will be made very soon. It will be structured, and we would want you to mentor them as well, so that they can even help you in understanding the whole process and going through all the experiences. So, sir, it was wonderful you having with us. Thank you so much. And thank you, sir, Kishu, sir, for joining us. I'm so very happy that you could join today. Thank you, sir. Over to Nikita for the question answer session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Anil sir. It was a fantastic session and a very positive session indeed. So I would like to start with my first question. How do we keep the spirit up when there is so much negativity around? That's the first question.
That is a very important question. And one has to understand what is the limit of one's own power. You have to, within your own circle, you have to do whatever you can. That you have to, Swami Chinmayanand had said something wonderful. He had said that each person should be like a rose. A rose gives its fragrance. And no matter what the other person may be, what the person smelling the rose may be, whether the person is a good person or a bad person or of any kind, the rose is not affected by those persons, but those persons get the fragrance of the rose. So you have to give your own fragrance to others, to reach out to everyone around you, and to do the best that you can. It may be that sitting here in our own homes or in our colleges, we are not able to reach out and change what is happening in Delhi or in Hathras or somewhere else. But that doesn't mean that you don't do it in your own sphere. Everything that you do will not have a worldwide impact or a nationwide impact. But in your own circumstances, in your own group of friends, you must be the best that you can be, do the best that you can, help other people, and speak out against injustice whenever you can in the right way, not in a foolhardy way, because that's what we saw sometimes during the emergency, that if people spoke wrongly, then they might be arrested and so on. It's not necessary to do all that. Do what is within your power. Don't go beyond that. And yet do that. And whenever you can, reach out to others even further away by writing, by speaking, by thinking, because that is a very important part.
Thank you so much, sir. I must say, your voice is so positive and so peaceful that it can calm anybody's mind in a second. So the next question is, on what basis should we prioritize different day-to-day activities?
Well, the activities that one has to have, of course, are for students, studies, and being with family and health, and all your co-curricular activities. You must try and balance everything. That doesn't mean that you do everything every day. During exam time, of course, you cannot have time for other things. In your vacation, you don't have to spend 8 hours or 10 hours a day studying. So you have to bear all these things in mind and let each day take its own course, but you have to plan for it also. In fact, I had read a very good book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz many, many years ago. And that remains with me. He talked about psycho-cybernetics, thinking, the manner in which you think. And it was something like this, that every morning you must think about what you want to do during the day. And every night you think about what you have done during the day. Don't be judgmental on yourself, but examine the experiences. If you think that you did something which you could have done differently, or which others would have done differently, a word that you could have said, or a word that you should not have said, or in something in which you should have put more time or energy, well, you think about it. Don't be judgmental. Don't criticize yourself for it. But learn from it. And as you think these thoughts, then the next day can change. So you must learn from your experiences. And as I said, grow through that too.
Thank you so much, sir. The next question is, how do we prepare ourselves from the very first year of college for the professional life after graduation?
Well, your work is, your studies are preparing you, and your co-curricular activities are preparing you. It's not that you have to think, I'm going to be a doctor, so therefore I have to start doing something particular for that now, that I have to think about patients right now. No, you have to focus on what is right before you. Your studies are in front of you, your teachers, your family, your friends, your other activities. You have to concentrate on that. Therefore, to prepare yourself for the future is to do the best that you can today. And then you will see that you will do the best when you become a professional.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, can we take a few more questions? Do we have time to take a few more questions? Okay. So the next question is, sir, you spoke about expressing opinions freely. However, it's not as simple as it seems when we are dealing with people with different opinions than others. How do we inculcate the habit of respecting and listening to the opposite opinion and not criticize people just because they don't agree with us?
Yes, that one has to do that. You have to respect other people. There will always be changes in one's own way of thinking. It's not that one's thinking also remains static. One's thinking evolves. So you have to be prepared that there are going to be changes in yourself, and that therefore you might yourself be in a position espousing the cause that someone else believes today. But in any case, whether you agree with that person or not, you have to respect another person's opinion. Voltaire said, the French philosopher Voltaire, he said that I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. So you have to respect other people. You don't have to fight with them. You have to listen to them, and you may agree to disagree, or you may fight to some extent. In the courts, one has to fight against each other. But then after that, you have to put that aside and move on.
There is one question in the chat box by Mehak Kwalani ma'am. Uh, Dear sir, in India, students and parents have the mindset of completing their education, especially MBA, and then going out into the world of employment. Whereas in abroad, students would get experience and then pursue their MBA. What is your advice on this?
I think both have their own uh, strengths, and both have their own advantages and disadvantages. See, in India, we are fortunate that the cost of education is not as much as it is outside India. And we generally are within our family structure, we are with our parents and families, and therefore we are able to pursue studies, were just one after the other. In America, for instance, it's not always so, because the cost of education is so high, $50,000, $100,000 a year. The students have to take such huge loans. Therefore, they need to be able to work for some time, earn some money, and then study further. And of course, it also helps, because if you work, you're able to imbibe uh, your lessons in class differently. In fact, there is an institute in Bombay, I think the SP Jain Institute, which has a program for professionals, which wherein you go, you do one week of studies, then they tell you go back to your office for 1 week, then you're not just taking time off 3 months, 4 months, 6 months away from work, or a year away from work, and then forgetting all your academics when you go back to work. But it is that you're learning and implementing and being ready for both. So there can be all kinds of combinations. There can be that you finish your studies at a stretch, or that you have a break in your studies, or you do something like this that the SP Jain Institute is offering, a week at a time of learning and of actually implementing that in work. So it really depends on persons, on what they want to do. I'll give you an example. I have twin nephews. My sister has twin sons. Now they are grown up, but one of them used to say when he finished his 12th that I have to go to America to study. If you don't let me go, then I will not talk to you. So then they allowed him to go. And then they asked his twin brother, well, would you like to go? He said, if you talk to me about going to America, I won't talk to you. So we had two different, completely different opinions from twins. One insisted on going, the other wouldn't even talk about going. So every person is different, every person's situation is different.
Thank you so much, sir. Uh, I'll take the last two questions. So this is the second last one. This question is by Neelkant Deshpande. He asks, which quality needs to be harnessed to be competitive and successful?
Um, every profession, every business requires different qualities. And generally, one would say that hard work is the most important thing of all, because you really do have to work very hard in every profession, every business, every line of activity. I've met businessmen so successful. I remember I was sitting at a wedding with him, and this man took out a notebook from his pocket and he was making notes at the wedding. So I said, what are you doing? He said, these are thoughts that I have for my work tomorrow. So people have to think all the time. Life is very competitive, and one does that. So while hard work is one of the most important things, there are different ways of living life. There is a very interesting story, The Ant and the Grasshopper by Somerset Maugham. We all remember the story that we've learned as children, that the ant works so hard and the grasshopper is always playing around. The ant saves for the winter, but the grasshopper doesn't. And so then the ant is much more uh, successful in the winter. But I want you all to read, I'm not telling you the story, I want you to read the story by Somerset Maugham of The Ant and the Grasshopper. And you will see that many different qualities can help to enable you to live one's life well.
This is the last question for the day. How important is it, according to you, to stay rooted to the background from where we come? Because people say that it's very easy to get swayed by the glitz and glam of a city like Mumbai.
Well, if you think that there are merits in being rooted, you must. But if there isn't merit in being rooted to a particular system, then you should cast away those roots. You should cut yourself off from them. If you have been in a situation where people have been difficult, nasty, prejudiced, over conservative, do not enable others to have the freedom, then you should not stick to those roots. You must then, in fact, set your own course. You have to set your own sails. So it is important to be aware of your roots and and treasure whatever is best and continue to use that. But if something is not good, then you have to move on. You have to cut away those roots and not remain wedded to them.
Fantastic answer, sir. So there's one more question in the chat box, so I'll just take that one. This is by Alok, sir. Sir, what is your view on reservation policy? Don't you think it is unable to provide social justice in India?
I think reservation was extremely important when the Constitution was framed, because there were millennia of the people had been downtrodden for millennia. They can't just come up and uh, and work at par with everyone else. So there was need for reservation. Even now, there's reservation not only for the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. There is even reservation for ladies, for instance, on the boards of companies. Every company has to have a female independent director. Now, it's being done, therefore, not just at the levels where people are poor or uneducated, etc. It's also being done at the highest levels where people are educated and very well qualified and so on. So I think there has been need for reservations. Unfortunately, that period when we don't need them any longer has not happened, because we have not got equality of opportunity across the country. There are still many people who don't have access to education or opportunities and wealth and all that. So I think reservations have been important. The manner in which they are implemented is not always the best way. That has to be done perhaps differently, to cut those reservations to some extent, or to enable people or that once a person has been given an opportunity at one level, then that he should not continue to get reservations thereafter. So if one person, one generation has benefited from a reservation and therefore been raised to a different level, maybe the next generation doesn't need that. But I think we still are not at the stage yet when reservations can be done away with. We need them now. I wish they could be implemented better, but we must have a definite time frame, one generation, for instance, not a time frame which is impractical, not 5 years, not 10 years, because that's not going to happen. We should plan for one generation, say 20 years or 25 years, and say this is the manner in which we're going to work at it, so that everyone will get proper education, everyone will be on the same footing, everyone will be literate. We are not even fully literate in our country. Everyone should reach that level, and then we are ready to forego these reservations, because then we'll truly be equal and have equal opportunities.
Thank you so much, sir, for being patient with us and answering all our questions. The ease with which you quote books, you quote leaders, make us well aware that how much you have read and how much information do you possess. And I'm sure our students must have not just heard today that reading and writing is important, but also experienced that how does a well-read person sound like. So thank you so much, sir. I would now like to call Miss Manjula Srinivas.
Nikita,
Yes,
I think I would interfere, and sir has been quoting so many books. Sir, you are talking to the young minds, first years, who are more and on Netflixes and WhatsApps today. So if you can guide them on what kind of reading habits, which is going away from younger generation, if you can guide them on what kind of books they should read from their first years. And I mean, I was like, sir has been reading so much books, and I would now keep asking Anil sir every day that please suggest books to us also. So if you can guide our students onto this area, sir.
I love Netflix.
But if you can give them some books that they should
But
read
one
on
also
the,
read, just whatever you feel like, whatever you feel like at the moment.
and Kishu sir has joined us, our president of the board. So would like if he can speak few words for us, sir. Sir, you are on mute, sir. Kishu sir.
So unmute yourself, please. Kishu sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Okay,
Please, sir.
right.
Yes, yes.
Very good morning to you all. Have a good afternoon. I missed out all the good points and good wisdom which Anil, my colleague Anil was doing. So, but whatever little I heard, very impressive, Anil. Now, I'm not as much read as Anil is, but I would say one thing, that gist of the entire thing is the hard work. I've always said that there's one thing without which you can't reach anywhere. Hard work and open mind. And also a due respect to each other, which is what is missing in this generation. I think the mutual respect is going away, especially to the elder generations. You see how much we have learned in like half an hour from Anil. It's all because that generation has read a lot and are able to tell us so many good things about it. So I have only one thing to say, that hard work along with the open mind will definitely bring you to a success. Success varies from person to person. So whatever you choose in your life, work hard towards it. 9 chances out of 10, you will reach. That's my advice to all of you. And I came from a very poor family to start with. My parents partition nullified everything what we had achieved. But money is also part of it. How we came up is only hard work. Only hard work and a clear mind. This is where we want to reach. And that is exactly how these institutions have been created. So from my side, I will tell you, hard work, clear mind is main thing, and a respect for each other. That's my take. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I didn't join in early. But Anil, thank you so much for your word of wisdom, so much knowledge. Thank you. Thank you so much. And all of you, anything else?
Hey, thank you so much, sir, for joining in. And it was wonderful listening to the two mentors of HSNC board, Anil ji and Kishu sir. We keep looking for opportunities that when do we call them and listen to our elders. And yes, a very, very apt thing. Today, students are forgetting each other, meeting offline, respecting each other, respecting elders. I mean, with these words of wisdom, I thank both of you. And over to Manjula ma'am to propose a formal vote of thanks, and then to Naveen. Manjula ma'am, over to you. Thank you, sir.
Uh, Thank you, Pooja ma'am. It was indeed a very interesting session, Anil sir. Thank you so much. As usual, as Nikita rightly put it, very soft yet very firm, very poised yet very convincing that this is how life has to be dealt with. Thank you, Kishore sir, for joining us for some time at least. I would like to just extend my thanks to each and every speaker who spoke in the last 2 weeks. Our principals, Dr. Himlata Bagla ma'am and Pooja Ramchandani ma'am, and of course Balani sir, who has always been there to support us in all our endeavors. And the biggest thing which I would like to talk about for the next 2 minutes is that for the students who have joined us on YouTube, the students who have joined us on Zoom, the student team which has worked with us on these sessions, trust me when I say this, Principal Bagla ma'am and Pooja ma'am are giving you a very poised kind of posture right now, but I can tell you how many things are going on simultaneously at this point of time. So you need to learn from your leaders, you need to learn from your teachers, you need to learn from all the teachers and students who have been an interim part of this history that we have created as KCHRBTTC as a new university. And this is just the curtain raiser. You just got a glimpse of what you have in store for the next 3 years. And you will, I can tell you with a lot of conviction here that we are going to give you the best speakers, the best exposure, the best teachers, the best assignments and the best placements. I can go on, but let me tell you that you are in the safest of safe places, though there is pandemic, but we can ensure you that education wise, you are in one of the branded institutions, which has an age of more than 50, 60, 70 years. So please understand that we are coming from a big experience background and we are here to help you do much, much better in your lives. So please attend our lectures carefully, listen to these speakers. You must have learned from so many speakers, whether it was media or law, or whether it was yoga, or it was pharmacy or finance. I think everybody gave you such simple suggestions to look forward to your lives going forward. So I thank each one of you who has attended, each one of you has contributed. My department, my staff, which was Surya, which was Nikita, which was Srinivas, and of course, Manish, who has been the greatest help, Monish, sorry, for the tech. And of course, all our vice principals. I can see Gwalani ma'am still there, listening to the whole thing. Thank you so much for being there. And over to Naveen for giving proposing a vote of thanks to Anil sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Manjula ma'am. On behalf of the HSNC board, HSNC University, HR, KC and BDTC colleges, sir, we thank you so much for taking out time from your schedule to address our beloved students. And I'm sure they are going to be the captains of their souls and they're going to set their sails in the right direction. I'm also pretty confident that, sir, we teachers and students have taken the analogy from your talk, where we'll be like that pen and paper of MF Hussain, where we'll work in collaboration and we try to paint a new academic canvas in this new university and try to bring more learning outcomes and more pedagogy and other aspects of learning in the new university, sir. We also would love to grow from our experiences and not go from our experiences. So we definitely have that takeaway. The most important takeaway, I think, is read, write and speak. take that and do that every day, at least for half an hour. And we will never forget the digit that you spoke about, the digit 1, which is health, and every other digit is a 0, which will keep adding after the health comes first. So that is one takeaway, which is very, very important. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time. I also thank our president, Kishu Mansukani ji, who had 3 aspects which he spoke about: hard work, open mind, and mutual respect. I'm sure, sir, that we all will adhere to these, and we will make institutions a better place to learn and a place where people have open-minded and thinking, where they have freedom to write, speak, and be themselves. On behalf of everyone, I would also like to thank the principals who have worked tirelessly for this program. My own principal, Dr. Pooja Ramchandani, Dr. Himlata Bagla, and Dr. Bhagwan Balani, who right now on the other side are managing an exam which started at 11 o'clock, which is the TY BCom exam. As Manjula ma'am rightly said, don't go by their poised gesture. They're multitasking on another phone and another device, where they're giving instructions ki, is the MCQ correct? Is it going on proper? So they're multitasking. I'll fail in my duty if I don't thank the tech team who has managed the entire infrastructure. And just one thing from my side, that the collective wisdom of all the 16 speakers is more than any learning that you would take. Please, this is just the curtain raiser, as Dr. Manjula rightly said. This is a collective wisdom of these great 16 thought leaders, in my opinion. Please take them religiously. If you have missed a session, it's on YouTube. Please go back, review them. Sometimes when you see the session again, you might get a different takeaway. So that's my humble opinion. I thank you once again. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. As Naveen said, the exams are going fine and all students are happy. This is the first exam where both the colleges, around 3,000 students are going online for TY BCom examination. So arts, science, commerce. So all going well. So the tension is not there. So not to worry. All principals are happy that the system is working. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. Over to Hema, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
So thank you, Anil sir, and thank you, Kishu sir, for your wonderful words of wisdom. And now I feel the program is complete. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been complete like that. And I would like to leave few words with the students. Everybody said everything. I was reading this book, which is there with me, of Dada J.P. Vaswani, Thus Have I Been Taught. And this book, the first paragraph inspired me. So I thought before I leave this platform with all of you and take you forward, all of us taking you forward in the new academic year, the first paragraph is what the inspiration of this induction program is. And the episode 1 of this chapter is Walking the Way of Obedience, where Dada J.P. Vaswani says that in my youth, it was my good fortune and privilege to come into contact with several holy men and Davishes and saints. So from this, the one thought came that if not holy men, each human being is a holy man, but each one has so much into it which can be shared. So why can't our first year batch students have this interaction and privilege of coming in contact with these great people whom you are listening to? He also said the second line, I may say that, Dada says, I may say that association with these holy men prepared me for my surrender at the feet of beloved Sadhu Vaswani. I learned valuable lessons from each of them. And he says that if you wish to walk the path of an aspirant, walk in utter, complete obedience. And that's what we have observed, that each one of you last 16 days have been joining this platform sharp 11 o'clock. If you missed out 11 o'clock on YouTube, you are coming back and visiting it, and we are watching the program. We have seen that every day there have been 4,000 to 5,000 to 6,000 sometimes students watching these series. And this is taking us one step forward. Now we will have much more for you. So academic session will start from Monday, that is 12th October. HR College and KC College students will be given their schedule by their principals, all of us. So we will be setting you through the first academic year from Monday. Get ready. And along with this academic year, along with your studies, there'll be many more sessions lined up for you from different mentors who are renowned people, so that you walk with utter obedience and learn from them and carry these wonderful golden words and make your diary and write down, so that it should be easy for you to walk in this path and set yourselves through. So thank you so much. We'll meet again on 12th of October, Monday, and we shall give you the time. You will receive the email. So join us again from Monday. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you, Mr. Harish sir. Thank you, Anil sir, Kishu sir, and Principal Pooja madam, and Bhagwan sir. Thank you so much. All the vice principals, Manjula, and everyone on behalf of HSNC University and HSNC board. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Ma'am, with your permission, shall I end the meeting?
Yes.